Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all got what Santa wished for. If you're Eagles fans, probably the NFL schedule release, because that's what we're wishing for. Not that it gets leaked, because it never gets leaked on Twitter 5 hours before. We definitely didn't know they'd have a week 14 bye 8 hours ago. Didn't even look. What? Huh? This evening, the NFL hyped up their NFL schedule release before dropping it all super early, because just makes sense every year, doesn't it? And today, we're just going to go through what it has in store for the Eagles. This won't be a record prediction, because I need the content, okay? That can come later on. But we're going to go through the schedule. We've got some film stuff coming up a bit later in the week, and hopefully you'll all be around for that as well. If you are new around here, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think the team's record will be by the end of 2021. We're going to break this down by quarter, because that's kind of what's logical here. Only it's not, because I've added a 17th game, and that's not divisible by 4, so we'll give it a shot. The Q1, you've got the Falcons, the Niners, the Cowboys, the Chiefs. Now, it starts off pretty winnable. You can't complain too much about that. Yes, I know the Falcons, the last time the Eagles played them in a season opener, seemed to best them, but the games before that, the Eagles had their number. According to Jimmy Kempski, though, the team have lost their last 6 bird versus bird matchups, so good. But I feel like Atlanta are a team that are going to be very boom or bust this year. Like, we don't really know how close to a playoff push they want to be. There's a lot of changes within that franchise. Their secondary has been totally rebuilt. Obviously, they've got Kyle Pitts, who may come back to haunt Eagles fans very, very early on. But then they go to week 2, where they face a rookie quarterback at home with fans in attendance. I don't think you can ask for more than that. In terms of a start in 2 games, you've got a winnable first one, and your first home game, you have a rookie quarterback coming to town, which should, hypothetically, give you a leg up. There's a good chance the Eagles do start this season 2-0, at the very least 1-1 in my opinion. Anything less than that, I'd be a little bit concerned, especially considering the next 2 games coming up. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys has an offense that is very, very scary, and as of right now, the Eagles have about 2 cornerbacks that I would actually call cornerback. We don't know if McPherson's going to be in the slot over Maddox. We don't know who's going to be CB2, but not that it matters, because the Cowboys have 3 very, very good wide receivers. They've got a very good running back, and Dak Prescott is going to be healthy. So I'd like to think the Cowboys offense is going to probably run rampant here. This is going to be Jonathan Gannon's first test, because not only does he face Dallas, he then faces the Chiefs offense of all teams a week later. So you go from the Cowboys offense to Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. So you're going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting through those final 2 weeks. So we'll see where the team go from there. But I think winning 2 out of the 4 is attainable. 3 out of the 4 and being an absolute shithouse, I would be all for it. But you're going to have to really prove you can go toe-to-toe with the Cowboys. That's the big one. All right, next 4 games, you've got the Panthers, the Bucks, the Raiders, the Lions. Sam Darnold and the Panthers, by this point in the season, may have many of the kinks ironed out. We know they've got Christian McCaffrey. He's a maniac. Their receivers are absolutely lethal. And do you know what I already hate about it? Is that Terrace Marshall is a Carolina Panther. And for anyone that knows my draft takes, I was very, very low on him. If he goes off for 100 yards, I'm not going to hear the end of it. It is going to be the end of my actual existence as a sports journalist. My credibility will hit 0. So I need Michael Jaquette to step up and put some clamps on him. But then we face the Bucks in week 6. That's going to be a very tough matchup. Reigning Super Bowl champions. Surely not another game where Tom Brady gets upended in Philadelphia by an Eagles quarterback in an absolute shithouse performance. Surely not after Super Bowl 52. Surely not after 2015, where Sam Bradford had his way with him. Who knows? Then you got week 7 and 8. The Raiders, I think, are going to be a tricky team to tame. The Lions, not so much. Obviously, Jared Goff's going to be the man. They're going to be a very different looking team, probably veering towards a rebuild. The Eagles could, I think, pretty easily get, again, another couple of wins here. Maybe off the Panthers and the Lions. Maybe the Raiders and the Lions. I think any one of those combinations. By this point, you're looking at 4-4. If you can be 4-4 at this stage, they're doing all right. Third quarter is where things get a bit messy. You've got the Chargers and the Broncos up next. 2020 Rookie of the Year Justin Herbert, then a trip to Mile High. We know the quarterback situation is different. We know Denver have gone all in on that secondary again because they just love their DBs over there. I think that could be a bit of a tricky stretch. They haven't had a bye yet at this stage. Remember that. The Saints had previously been a bit of a bogey team. They really rattled Carson Wentz. And then, of course, we had the playoff heartbreak. And then in 2020, Jalen Hurts was able to upend them, but it was Taysom Hill playing. I mean, now they've got to face Jameis Winston, who is an actual quarterback, who might actually throw passes and not just run around. That might be problematic. This Saints team is very good from top to bottom. Going to be interesting to see what happens in their first season in like a million without Drew Brees. I think it's 16, but I'm going to say a million. It feels like it's closer. They end that quarter with a game against the Giants. It's on the road again, still no bye. I think if that stint goes bad, if they end up going 0-3 or 1-2, the Giants could be licking their lips. They're going into their house, you know, they still haven't had a bye. The Giants are going to be the team probably in control of that matchup, and that's going to be difficult. So, again, it's going to be very defensive for the Eagles. We know the Giants have got a pretty stacked receiving group now. We know Saquon Barkley simply exists, and that's enough to be worried about. Are the Eagles going to be up to going into Big Blue, taking a win, and then heading to Week 13 where they face the other team in New York? Let's roll to the next part of the schedule. The New York Jets are a mess, but they might win games. I'm not sure. Either way, I think the Eagles should still have some kind of momentum here. At this point, you'd like to think he had the ground back under his feet. Will he, though? I don't know. I'd still tip the Eagles for a win because the Jets are so much further down that rebuilding progress. And then finally, we get a bye, Week 14. And whatever's left of that team is going to have a hell of a week off playing Fortnite. Then things get interesting because the final 4 games of the season are all divisional. 2 against Washington. That's not going to be fun. And if Washington are hot, if Washington are in control of the division at that point, with the receiving core that they've got, with the defense that they've got, that's going to be a very, very tough thing to overcome. If the Eagles are hot and they can upset Washington, I think there's a chance they go and beat New York at home. Obviously, they host the Cowboys at the end of the season. Those 4 games for me, I know it sounds obvious, they're going to really sum up this season. If the Eagles can get into Week 14 with a 500 record, a little bit under it, just to keep them in wildcard contention, and they can win 3 of those last 4 games, or 2 of those last 4 games, and really show that they can hang with the offenses within their own division, then maybe they'll be okay. Whether they'll be able to do that or not, I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty here, and I think that those final few games really knocking the wind out of the Eagles' sails. I hope they don't. I'm not holding much hope for the division. Oddly, in this schedule, I see all the wins coming from way outside of it, from teams like New York, from teams like the Raiders potentially, from teams such as the Detroit Lions. I don't see a win against Washington. I'm struggling to see a convincing win against the New York Giants. The Cowboys, it's just that offense. It's just those receivers are so scary. I'm really, really hoping they can get it together. But what do you think, guys? By the end of 17 weeks of NFL football, where will the Eagles be? Will they make the playoffs? Will they go on and win the division? Are they going to surprise people? What will their biggest upset win be? Let me know down in the comments. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you next time. Go Birds.